Last time on Confused Reviews.
What's next? Home Alone 2. What?
And now, the epic conclusion. Not really.
So, you gonna review it?
Huh? Oh, you're still here?
Yeah, I gotta have you review something, regardless of what it is.
Well, if I'm doing Home Alone 2, you might as well get a little festive, so here.
What?
Put this on. I mean, you already got the sweater down. Aw, you look adorable.
Very funny.
Sometimes life has its moments. Hello and welcome to Confused Reviews, where a cartoon drawing reviews movies. And if you didn't have the pleasure of joining me last year, I love Christmas, especially movies based around the greedy consumer holiday, from Christmas Vacation, Santa's Sleigh, and obviously the quintessential classic, Home Alone. It was a box office smash that critics didn't care for. Anyways, it's been invading our lives for the past 2 decades with constant TV viewings, merchandise, and obviously, sequels. Since 1990, we've gotten 4 sequels, and one as recently as 2012's masterpiece, The Holiday Heist, with some lesbian and Malcolm McDowell for some reason. But 1992 blessed our lives with the first of these sequels, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, telling the continuous story of Kevin McCallister, the kid with the worst parents ever, as he's once again thrust into an adventure alone, but this time in the Big Apple. So let's bounce back to the 90s to see if little Macaulay Culkin's second and last outing in the series was a worthwhile follow-up or is as bad as Home Alone 4.
Door open.
God, I hope not. This is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. So the film begins in the really white part of Chicago with no Gallaghers in sight. We see Kevin, played once again by Macaulay "My Dad Stole All My Money" Culkin, playing with a tape recorder that looks like it could connect to a Game Boy. He's then interrupted by his mom Kate, played perfectly by Catherine O'Hare, and his dad, played by the late John Hurd, which, hearing his passing is sad, but what do you remember him from? No. Big, I guess? Just Home Alone. That's it. That's all he's known for. And 4 minutes in, and we're already getting some terrifying dialogue.
I can't go in there because Uncle Frank's taking a shower. He says if I walked in there and saw him naked, I'd grow up never feeling like a real man.
Well, he must have walked in there, cause, jeez, I'm sorry. He barges in and gets some really creepy audio, and let's just throw that in the plot pocket, cause we'll need it later. And we bounce over to the K-12 Christmas pageant. Why is Buzz, played by Devin Ratray, alongside Kevin in this thing? Weird. And then Buzz, being the Satan spawn he is, starts fucking with Kevin, but even worse, the parents start rolling on the floor in laughter, which is really fucked up, actually. This kid's 8 or 10. You don't think he's nervous enough? Assholes.
Here, I'll get my revenge. Yeah, take that, bitch.
Hey, quit fucking with my movie.
Ow, you dick.
Oops.
How about now?
Just quit manipulating my movie. God. We return to the McCallister house and see Chucky's brother gets the family on his side, and Kevin gets banished to the 3rd floor. Mrs. McCallister comes upstairs to fix the situation, but Kevin doesn't seem content with compromise.
I'm not apologizing to Buzz. I'd rather kiss a toilet seat.
Whoa, easy on the language. This is a fucking family show. Oh, wait. We then find out from a newspaper scene transition, everyone's favorite cartoon robbers escaped from prison because they could smell Kevin's family going on a vacation. That or we need to keep the plot moving along. Probably the latter. Oh, and because we need this trip to begin in panic and rush, they forgot again to wake up on time. Okay. So you're telling me, in this house with 15 plus people, not one person is an early bird who wakes up at the crack of dawn and could have avoided this bullshit. And not even just once, but twice. Fucking twice within the same year. Oh, and if you're looking for a fun activity to do during the holidays while you're watching this movie, scan this movie for all the frames that would make great Christmas cards. Here's the first of many. They speed through the house, and Uncle Frank, played by Jerry Bamman, proves to be just a huge asshole.
I know I shouldn't complain about a free trip, but geez, you guys give the worst gall-darn wake-up calls.
Can I kill him?
No, not yet. But maybe. They manage to get Kevin to the airport, which is already a step up from the last movie, and he takes his dad's bag because he's gonna need supplies when he gets to New York, and they book it through the airport. Just like in Die Hard, pre-9/11 air travel was such a magical thing, they'd be far past fucked if they remade this movie now. It takes 2 hours to park your damn car. Kevin slams into the flight attendant and loses his papers, but thankfully, Aaron Eckhart here lets him hop on the wrong plane anyway.
We'll go find an empty seat.
Yeah, right, like a flight to New York on Christmas Eve would have an open seat. He'd be lucky to get a slot in the overhead bin. He sits next to a Frenchman, and if you ever wondered what he's saying, here.
Vous êtes qui, ça? Moi, je viens de la France, je suis un touriste ici. C'est la première fois que je viens en Amérique. Tu peux pas me dire, toi, un peu?
Oh, and it also causes Kevin to pop on his Walkman, drowning out the fact that he's on the wrong flight. I mean, this way of hiding it is stupid, sure, but hey, I put on my headphones to avoid English speakers most of the time, so I feel you, Kevin. He arrives in New York while his family arrives in Florida.
Here you go, Kevin.
Gee, you sure got old during the flight. And prepare yourselves for the most Oscar-worthy scream of all time.
What?
Jesus Christ, Jamie Lee Curtis should take a lesson or two from Catherine O'Hara, because she's got one hell of a scream. Kevin realizes that he has the worst luck and worst parents ever, for he's been abandoned again, and holy shit. Ally Sheedy? No bullshit, that's actually her. Why is Allison from The Breakfast Club thrown in here as a 30-second cameo? Weird. We then see that the Wet Bandits, Harry and Marv, played by the legends Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern respectively, have coincidentally also wound up in New York on the same goddamn day. What? Oh, and they are now known as...
Now we got our new nickname. We're the Sticky Bandits.
Isn't naming yourself / leaving a calling card what royally fucked you over to begin with? Whatever, it's not like they'll listen to me anyway. And on Kevin's way to the hotel, we see Pigeon Lady, otherwise known as the grosser, less interesting old man Marley, played by Brenda Fricker. Heh, Fricker. She scares Kevin enough to run off in a panic, and the Wet Bandits and Kevin co-align very easily, considering they meet half a dozen times in this movie, while being in the biggest city in the United States. Sounds like something out of a fairy tale. What do you think of this, Shrek?
Yeah. Like that's ever gonna happen.
Oh, and here's another Christmas card-worthy face by Marv. It's just too easy. He heads into the Plaza Hotel and...
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
Oh, hey current President Donald Trump. The reason he cameoed was the fact that he owned the damn building, but I have a feeling he knew my review would arrive during his election.
Yeah, right.
Shut up and let me think it's at least a little bit of a possibility. Oh, and since he is the president, let's play the music that's appropriate for this scene now. America, fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah! Anyways, after all those political jokes, he says...
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
But it's to the right. Guess all that tanning spray made him lose his sense of direction. He creates a reservation and...
Howdy do. This is Peter McCallister, the father.
May have adjusted the pitch just a tad too much.
I'd like a hotel room, please.
What is his dad, Ace Ventura? Anywho, we see that, holy shit, the concierge is Tim motherfucking Curry, one of the best actors to ever live, and he rules in this movie, making it worth a watch for him alone. Get it? Oh, and this movie also has an Elvis-haired Rob Schneider, which is also trippy and surreal to see.
You know, Herbert Hoover once stayed here on this floor.
The vacuum guy?
No, the president.
And in 25 years, the owner of this place will be the president. Robbie tries snooping through Kevin's bag and gives the same scared cat face and receives a stick of gum as payment, cause, as Steve Buscemi puts it,
I don't tip.
You don't tip?
No, I don't believe in it.
And we're also gifted with more of the Angels with Filthy Souls saga with a long-awaited follow-up, Angels with Filthier Souls, alongside these other classic flicks, which don't exist, unfortunately. And oh boy, is it great.
You was here, and you was smooching with my brother. Don't give me that. You've been smooching with everybody.
God, I love it.
Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
That's what she said. No.
Later that evening, Tim saunters up to Kevin's room, and Kevin, bring back Uncle Frank's singing from earlier in the movie, blows up a clown toy and marionettes it, all in under a minute. While some are quick to shout bullshit, I'll let it slide because I think it's hilarious. Oh, and Tim Curry is fooled by a clown. Ironic. Oh, and wouldn't Joe Pesci's other movie dialogue work well here?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you.
Timothy also gives us another great card-worthy expression and flees from the room. This scene is fantastic, from the outlandish setup, amazing payoff, and even slides in another quick gag while Curry runs out of the room. It is amazing. Kevin and his mom have this weird psychic connection for some reason, but no time for that. Rob's got to drop off Kev's underwear, and this happens.
I'm sorry, you wanted a tip.
That won't be necessary, sir. I still have some tip left over.
No tip? Okay.
No. Wait.
Hey, I bet that's exactly how Adam Sandler pitched Grown Ups 2 to Rob.
Okay.
No. Wait.
No wonder he wasn't in it. The next day, Tim Curry just
Pizza.
staples himself as the creepiest mofo to star in a motion picture, and that reminds me, Tim, are you okay with people saying Bill Skarsgård's a better Pennywise?
I suppose not.
I didn't think so. Anywho, Kevin barks on today's limousine, cheese pizza, and the Grinch-filled day, while concierge creams in his pants finding out Kev's dad's credit card was indeed stolen. We then arrive to the One Percenter's Toys R Us, and he picks out the worst toys, and Duncan, played by Eddie Bracken, is asking a rather obvious question.
My, where did you get all that money?
Well, being that he made a combined $10+ million in the 90s, safe to say he was fucking loaded. He gets to chatting with the fine fellow and tosses away more of his parents' money on one of those throwaway gifts your creepy aunt gets you that you have to act like you like. And he leaves to finally come into contact with everyone's favorite bumbling idiots. No. Nope. Not really. There we are. And brace yourself! Anyways, Kevin runs away and ventures back into his old habits and sets a makeshift jigsaw trap and causes him to escape. A jigsaw trap? Wait a second.
Stolen credit card? Let's see what the police have to say about this.
Oh yeah, Kev runs through the building, dodging everyone in sight until he's aided by a fake gangster movie and creates a fantastic scene.
Hold it right there.
This is the concierge.
Okay, this is working.
I knew it was you. I could smell you getting off the elevator.
Still works.
You was here last night, too, wasn't you?
Yes, sir?
Perfect, surprisingly.
And you was smooching with my brother.
Hey, Tim's preferences are none of your concern, sir.
I'm afraid you're mistaken, sir.
Don't give me that. You've been smooching with everybody.
Oh yeah? Like who?
Snuffy, Al, Leo, Little Mo with the gimpy leg, Cheeks, Bony Bob, Cliff.
Cliff, you sly dog. Fuck it, blow him away.
I love you.
There's another card-worthy face. Oh, sorry, continue.
1, 2.
Music to my ears. What a great scene. After that insanity, Kev literally jumps right into the bad guys, and Marv decides to tell their master plan to the only kid who can defeat them. Because he's not all that bright. And as expected, they somehow find Marv's crush from earlier, which is fucking impossible, but he escapes through the power of bullshit. Back with the B story, the parents figure out Kev's whereabouts, but no one gives a shit about that, so let's jump back to Kevin, who winds up at his uncle's house. Not this dickweed, but one who's away for Christmas while it's being renovated, leaving it open to become a death trap of terrifying proportions. He eventually does some sightseeing and winds up in the park where super scary pigeon bitch resurfaces and we gotta redo the sympathetic creepy character thing. So we find out she isn't a bad person, just someone who got heartbroken and shunned everyone because of it. Wow, I can sure care for this character, credited as Pigeon Lady. Come on, you couldn't have given some name for her? Call her Diddlefuck for all I care. It would have been better than that. After the forced messages are out of the way, Kev runs home to the same John Williams music as in the original Gearing Up montage. But if you thought Harry and Marv surviving part 1 was impossible, this movie says, hold my beer. Cause get ready folks, cause you're in store for one hell of a crazy ride. But first, his parents rip the hotel crew a new one.
What kind of idiots do you have working here?
The finest in New York.
Well, I mean, when you discovered that the credit card was stolen, what? I made the discovery.
Ooh, another glorious Christmas card there. Every face Tim Curry makes uses all of his face muscles at once. Seriously. Oh, and in case you're having a bad day, here's Tim Curry getting slapped.
Madam, there are hundreds of parasites out there, armed to the teeth.
Shut the fuck up, I will fucking laser you.
Do bundle up, it's awfully cold outside.
And a few more times.
Armed to the teeth.
That right there is why the video camera was invented. Back with the Wet Bandits, their plan of staying in the dollhouse until closing actually worked as they begin their $1 bill massacre, but Kev wants to do a quick photo shoot.
He's back! He took our picture!
How did my hair look?
Fantastic, don't worry about it. They use their Looney Tunes logic to fling Harry onto a car, and he's fucking dead. Or at least should be. Oh, and by far, the greatest Christmas card opportunity is this. Fucking beautiful. And before you can catch your breath, Marv gets a brick to the face and somehow survives.
I cross my heart and hope to die.
Even that, I don't know if you two can manage. Anywho, Hostel 4 begins with a shot to the asshole, crotch, and face, and, Negan sums it up pretty well.
I'm just getting started.
So yeah, let's speed round these booby traps. Harry slips on grease and falls. Marv makes it inside and falls down 2 floors. Harry has a bag full of heavy wrenches dropped on his head. Marv slips on more grease and turned into Jackson Pollock's ideal body, and then fucking electrocuted. Harry sets his head on fire again, but this is a sequel, so instead of just burning his skull, let's blow him up. Oh, Marv also gets a sack of plaster to the face. Harry falls down. They try outsmarting him with the paint gag thing, but he retaliates with a giant metal pole to the kisser. Twice. They are also crushed by a tool chest, and Kevin recreates the ending of the Temple of Doom just to drop the best line in the movie. Maybe.
I'm down here, you big horse's ass!
That seriously needs to be slapped onto the DVD box. The fact that we have that line immortalized in film said from a 10-year-old kid is just... it's just great. He then decides that Harry and Marv need to be turned into Freddy Krueger stunt doubles and lights the kerosene-covered rope ablaze. And they eventually just go bombs away and crash onto the cement ground. Totally plausible. Oh, and there's also 20 random falling cans of shit. Yeah. Kevin then bolts away but slips on the giant obvious ice patch, and they take Kevin to be shot with a gooey gun, but Pigeon Lady swoops in to make them the world's worst bird feeder. And I guess we did get an actually scary sequel to Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece, cause this is fucking brutal. And as Kev sets off some celebratory fireworks, the uncertain named bandits are carted off to jail. Hey, this is the last time we ever see them, so I can only assume they suffered the same fate Joe Pesci did in Casino. Sheesh. We get some more shots of New York, and I wonder if Jason's down there. Now that's a crossover I'd like to see, seeing Kevin try to beat the shit out of Jason with paint cans or whatever. Anyways, we get an amazing performance from Kev's mom as she realizes through the power of the third act, and they reunite at Rockefeller Center. And, as you'd guess, they make up and everything's happy again. The next morning, they awake to see Mr. Duncan stock their Christmas tree with more gifts than a mom's minivan on Black Friday. Oh, and Kev gives Diddlefuck one of those stupid turtle doves just to never see her again. And Rob Schneider gives Buzz Kevin's room service bill, and Buzz returns the favor with what apparently is a huge currency in the McCallister house. More bubble gum.
Nice family. Really.
Nice career. Really.
Kevin! You spent $967 on room service!
And with that, Kevin escapes what I'm only assuming will be the ass-whooping of the century, and he runs off, never to be seen again. And that was Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and it's really fucking enjoyable. For one, little Macaulay Culkin is still charismatic, charming, and great once again. Catherine O'Hare is also fantastic, and while terrible in the sense that she's lost her kid twice, you can tell she really cares about her kid, and O'Hare kills the role. Obviously, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern are as great as our goofy villains, and their chemistry is as great as always. The up-ante in the bigger story works well and makes the stakes seem even higher whether he'll defeat the Wet Bandits. The traps are brutal in this one. The originals were terrifying and unbeatable, but this time, I mean, it really reminds me of Jigsaw. Wait a second. Holy shit. Kevin is John Kramer. Think about it. They're both manipulative sociopaths, and Kevin shows all the traits. He likes to be alone and antisocial. He lies all the time and uses his charm to manipulate situations. He talks to himself constantly, and most of all, he makes elaborate traps to torture people. But not just traps to hurt, ones where the victims cause the pain. In both 1 and 2, he sets up a plan which Harry and Marv destroy their bodies. But if Kevin did grow up to be Jigsaw, he'd eventually reuse old traps, right? booby trap stairs like in Saw 2. The paint can metal pole thing is reminiscent of the ice crushing the guy's head in Saw 4. Kevin shoots Marv when he looks through a doggy door, just like the eye hole gun from Saw 2. And in the final chapter, Jigsaw burns a woman alive, and Kevin uses fire 3 times, from burning Harry's head twice and lighting a rope on fire while they're holding onto it. And while that's only a few examples of similar traps, furthermore, Kevin introduces his obsession with a tape recorder and changing his voice in this movie, just like Jigsaw does. And scariest of all, Kevin runs off at the very end of the movie with an unknown fate. Who's to say he didn't run off, change his name, and become one of the world's most infamous killers of all time? Kevin is Jigsaw! Holy shit, I got off track. Anyways, the bad of this movie includes a lot of retread of the first, from the fact that he's left alone again, to more VHS shenanigans, and the fact that the Wet Bandits ended up where Kevin is on the exact day does reek of bullshit. But overall, this movie is a great follow-up. John Hughes does a great job with most of the script. John Williams' score is fucking delightful, and one I listen to every holiday season. And everyone on the cast is great once again. And I'm going to give Home Alone 2 Lost in New York an A-, because it's pretty damn good in most ways. And depending on what day you ask me, I like it more than the first, for how batshit insane it is.
Damn. Nice work, man.
Thanks. So, I guess that's it.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm done. It's been a long fucking year, and I'm taking a break.
Yeah, right, like I'm going to...
Better yet, I'm taking a goddamn vacation.
Where the hell are you going?
New York.